Hello everyone, this is the Times of Rumaisa and welcome to this comprehensive video of the cardiovascular system. Throughout this presentation, we'll delve into various aspects of the cardiovascular system, providing you with a thorough understanding of its intricacies. Firstly, we'll examine both the internal and external features of the heart, enhancing your comprehension of its anatomical structures. I'll also introduce fundamental terminology, which will be necessary for grasping the content in this video effectively. Moving forward, we'll explore the functions of the heart and its crucial role in maintaining overall health. By examining its various functions, we will shed light on the importance of the heart within the cardiovascular system. Additionally, we will visualize the workings of the heart as an organ, enabling us to fully and thoroughly understand how the cardiovascular system plays a very important role in our bodies. Lastly, I will share my personal experience with the dissection of a heart and provide a tour of my Notion page, which contains further resources and information. I encourage you to watch until the end so you can make the most out of this video. Let us now begin our exploration of this fascinating and essential aspect of human physiology. Let's start by taking a look at the human heart. Here's a list of the internal features of the heart. Each of these features play different roles in the cardiovascular system. However, before understanding the roles these features play, we must first learn or recall the key terms that are essential to a successful understanding of the content in this video. A blood vessel is a tube which allows the circulation of blood in the body. Arteries, veins, and capillaries are all blood vessels. Veins are blood vessels which allow blood to flow into the heart from other organs of the body. Arteries are also blood vessels which allow blood to flow into other organs from the heart. Although arteries and veins are quite similar, since they are both tubes containing blood, here are the main differences between them. The main difference here is arteries carry blood from the heart to other organs, and veins carry blood to the heart from other organs. Here's a little trick I made to remember this. You can think of arteries as out-aries, carrying blood out of the heart, while you can think of veins as veins, carrying blood in the heart. Looking at the diagram of the heart, we can see the superior and inferior vena cavas, which are the largest veins in the body. We can also see the aorta, the largest artery in the body. Coming back to the differences between arteries and veins, arteries carry oxygenated blood, while veins carry deoxygenated blood. More on that soon. Arteries are located deeper inside your muscles, while veins can be seen up on the surface of your hands, arms, feet, etc. Arteries have thicker walls, while veins have thinner walls. This is because blood pumped from the heart flows at a higher pressure. Therefore, they need thicker walls to prevent the arteries from bursting due to high pressure. Capillaries are the smallest type of blood vessel. They connect arterioles, small arteries, with venules, small veins, and are present around the body. Valves can be pictured as doors or flaps that open and close. They act as one-way outlets for blood to get from one chamber or area to another. Since they are one-way outlets, they are highly effective in preventing the backflow of blood. Valves can act as doors with the help of tendinous cords and papillary muscles. We'll get into more detail on that later. If you look at the heart again, try to observe the 4 different valves. The tricuspid valve, which has 3 cusps or 3 flaps which open and close, the bicuspid valve, which has 2 cusps, the semilunar valve of the pulmonary artery, and the semilunar valve of the aorta. As promised earlier, here's the difference between deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood is blood with cells which possess a reduced oxygen concentration. This type of blood is also called venous blood, since it flows in veins. On the other hand, oxygenated blood is blood with cells that possess a high oxygen concentration. Have you ever wondered why veins are usually represented to be blue while arteries are red? This coloring method simply symbolizes the deoxygenated blood in veins and the oxygenated blood in arteries. Now, the last key terms are superior and inferior. Superior refers to anything that is above, while inferior refers to anything that is below. In the heart, we can see the superior vena cava, which number 1 is located at the base or top of the heart, and number 2 carries blood from the upper organs of the body to the heart. The inferior vena cava is number 1 located at the apex or bottom of the heart, and number 2 carries blood from the organs located at the lower half of the body to the heart. Now, the main purpose of the heart is to oxygenate blood that is depleted of oxygen, and then send that oxygenated blood to the rest of the body to keep all organs healthy and functioning. Knowing the main purpose, we can now better understand the functions of different internal features in the heart. Let's look at the physical structure of the heart. It has both an internal anatomy as well as external layers. We'll begin with the internal anatomy of the features of the heart, starting off by understanding the individual roles of the features, and then understand how they work together to help the heart function. For this, I've labeled the diagram of the heart using Genially, a content creation platform. The link to my Genially is in the description box, so be sure to check it out and follow along on your own if you're interested. Firstly, we can observe the superior and inferior vena cavas and the aorta, which we've previously taken a look at. The superior vena cava, along with the inferior vena cava, collects oxygen-depleted blood from the body. The superior vena cava, as mentioned earlier, collects oxygen-depleted blood from the half of the body located above the heart, while the inferior vena cava collects oxygen-depleted blood from the half of the body below the heart. The aorta is responsible for sending oxygenated blood out of the body after it's oxygenated. The heart consists of 4 chambers. These 4 chambers are called atriums and ventricles. Each side of the heart has an atrium and a ventricle, thus making a left atrium, a right atrium, a left ventricle, and a right ventricle. The function of the atria is to receive incoming blood. The right atrium receives oxygen-depleted blood from the vena cavas, while the left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the 4 pulmonary veins. The function of the more muscular ventricles is to pump blood out of the heart, which is done with the help of the aorta and the pulmonary artery. Notice that they are both arteries or out-aries, and so they carry blood out of the heart. A tiny detail you might notice in this diagram is that the wall of the left ventricle is much thicker than that of the right ventricle. This is because the pressure needed to pump blood to the whole body through the aorta is much greater than the pressure needed to pump blood to the lungs only. So, the thick muscle of the left ventricle not only generates a greater pressure for the blood to be pumped into the whole body, but also prevents the heart from overexpanding. Speaking of the pulmonary artery, do you know which organ the pulmonary artery and the 4 pulmonary veins are related to? The lungs. Just as the prefix cardio refers to the heart, or the prefix renal refers to the kidneys, the prefix pulmonary refers to the lungs. The role of the pulmonary artery is to get oxygen-depleted blood, which the heart receives through the vena cavas, to the lungs, where it can get oxygenated. Then, the pulmonary veins get that oxygenated blood back into the heart, where it can be pumped back into the body through the help of the left ventricle and the aorta. Additionally, did you ever wonder why we have 4 pulmonary veins and a pulmonary artery which splits into 2? Notice that they're both even numbers. This is because we have 2 lungs. And so, we need 1 artery to send blood to each lung, and since arteries are bigger, each artery can carry a lot of blood. Then, we need 2 veins to bring oxygenated blood from each lung, because veins are relatively smaller. Having covered chambers, veins, and arteries in the heart, it's now time to address the 4 valves present in the heart. As previously stated, valves act like one-way doors for blood to get from one distinct area to another. Therefore, the tricuspid valve helps carry blood from the right atrium, where it's received, to the right ventricle, where it can be pumped to the lungs, which is with the help of the pulmonary valve. You may notice the prefix pulmonary again, because the valve allows blood to transition from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. The same way, the bicuspid valve helps carry blood from the left atrium, where it's received, to the left ventricle, where it can be pumped to the body. and with the help of the aortic valve, blood is enabled to transition from the left ventricle to the aorta. You may wonder though, how do valves do this? Well, papillary muscles and tendinous cords, or chordae tendineae, play a huge part in the opening and closing of valves. Firstly, tendinous cords are string-like connective tissue, which, when connected to papillary muscles in the heart, help prevent valves from opening the wrong way, just like how door hinges prevent a door from opening the wrong way. Now having a complete understanding of the internal aspects of the heart, we may now transition to the external aspects of the heart, which are its layers. Although the heart has several different types of intricate layers, it can be put to simply have 3 distinct layers. These layers are the pericardium, the myocardium, and the endocardium. The pericardium, also called the fibrous pericardium, is the outermost layer of the heart. The prefix peri means around, hence the words perimeter and also pericardium. Therefore, this layer covers the outside of the heart completely. It protects the heart and reduces friction between the heart and other organs. The myocardium, sometimes referred to as cardiac muscle, is the main tissue which the heart is made up of. The muscle previously seen here on the diagram was indeed the myocardium. The prefix myo means muscle, hence the words myology, the study of muscles, myocyte, a cell found in muscles, and now myocardium, the muscle of the heart. It is responsible for the cardiac pump, which is what primarily enables the systemic and pulmonary circuits or circulations. The endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart. The prefix endo means inside, which makes the word endocardium, the smooth inner lining of the heart. It is responsible for preventing direct contact of the blood with the myocardium, ensuring a smooth blood flow and preventing blood clots. Having covered the overwhelming information of the internal and external features of the heart and their functions, it was really helpful for me to see the whole process of the heart oxygenating the blood it receives, to fully understand how it works as an organ and how the internal features of the heart help the heart as a whole organ in functioning properly. Let's come back to our beloved diagram for this. Our heart starts its journey by first collecting deoxygenated blood. The superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava collect this blood and bring it to the right atrium, which sends this blood to the right ventricle with the help of the tricuspid valve. The right ventricle then sends this blood through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery, which sends this deoxygenated blood, which the heart has received, to the lungs, so it may become oxygenated. This process of sending the received deoxygenated blood to the lungs, done by the right side of the heart, is called pulmonary circulation, or the pulmonary circuit, since it involves circulating blood between the heart and the lungs. The pulmonary veins are responsible for the next part. 2 pulmonary veins bring back oxygenated blood from each lung back to the heart. This is one of the only times that a vein carries oxygenated blood, which is an exception to the general rule. The left atrium then collects this blood from all 4 pulmonary veins and sends it to the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. The left ventricle then sends this blood through the aortic valve, or the semilunar valve of the aorta, into the aorta, which transports this healthy oxygenated blood throughout the body to keep it functioning properly. This process of sending the received oxygenated blood to the body, done by the left side of the heart, is called systemic circulation, or the systemic circuit, or the general circuit, since it involves circulating blood between the heart and the body, or our system. Congratulations on reaching this part of the video. You are now officially done learning about the human heart. However, do you know which organisms have a cardiovascular system incredibly similar to that of our own? Pigs! There have actually been successful pig heart transplants in humans. This is why I decided to also personally research the cardiovascular system of pigs. I honestly found the content very interesting and decided to teach it to the members of my club in school, the Medics Club, as well. I created a Notion page to help me teach this content. The page is linked in the description box and is extremely useful. You can use them as notes or as revision, so that you don't have to take notes on this content by yourself. You can also duplicate my Notion page and add or remove information according to your personal preferences. If you scroll down, you can also have a look at my handwritten notes if you want to get inspired. Additionally, I've also performed a dissection on the pig's heart, which further helped me see my knowledge of the cardiovascular system come to life. For the dissection, I personally created an appropriate method for me and my club, and this method is linked in the description box as well. It's really useful for anyone who wants to dissect a heart, and possibly a pig's heart. I was actually really intrigued by the pig heart, an organ that looks, feels, and possibly even smells amazingly similar to our own hearts. I found the process of observing and identifying the blood vessels, tissues, ventricles, atriums, and layers of the pig heart really interesting as well. Ultimately, I loved the experience I gained through this dissection so much that I actually asked the teacher supervising my club to take a picture of the heart and send it to me, which I then went home and labeled. Honestly, it felt really satisfying to finally be able to apply my knowledge in a real-life situation. And this brings us to the end of the video. For this video, I used Wikipedia for the diagram of the human heart, Genially to edit that diagram, SlidesGo and Flat Icon for visuals, and Notion to create notes, which would help me teach the content to my club. Please feel free to check out the links I've provided in the description box. Additionally, if you would like to access the slideshow that I've used throughout the video, contact me at my email. You may also use it to communicate with me if you have any feedback, concerns, suggestions, or questions on the video. Please also let me know what other types of videos you'd like me to make by emailing me. Thank you so much for watching The Times of Rumaisa, and I'll see you soon.